Hello, and thank you for choosing Orchestra's How-To series. In this video, we're going to discuss how to allocate uh, purchasing freight charges directly to inventory cost. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that our freight is set up. We did this by going to Administration, Setup, General, and then we're going to go into the freight. This is our freight setup, so this is where we can define new types of freight. In this case, I've set up freight and insurance. Now, the freight revenue accounts and expense accounts have been defined. We can also define fixed amounts for revenue or expenses, and the distribution method is by row total. Now, the important thing for allocating freight directly to inventory is the stock checkbox. If this is checked, then if this freight type is selected for an inventory item, the cost of freight will be allocated directly to that item. So our freight is set up correctly. We're going to say OK, and let us make a purchase. So I'm going to do an AP invoice. This will perform the purchasing documents, goods receipt and invoice at the same time. I'm going to choose my vendor, choose an item, and let's say we're going to purchase 5. So we got $2,000 worth of inventory cost. Currently there's no freight cost, and actually, to make this a little more interesting, let's purchase 2 inventory items. Now, one option I have in SAP is to define freight on the line. Needless to say, this works. So we can say freight on the line. Oh, we don't have our ability to add a freight charge. It's not exposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my form settings, go to freight 1, and I want to be able to see how much I'm putting into freight 1 local currency. So I'm going to say freight 1 local currency, $50. And I'm going to add freight to the second item of $25. These are freight charges that will be charged regardless of the freight amount that I define on the document. So these can be, like, for example, a special handling charge that only applies to this item. And then this one has a special handling charge only applied to these items. And then there is also the overall freight bill. Let's say we had $45 for insurance and $125 just general freight that I want allocated based on the dollar value of the row. So that gives me a total freight charge of $245. And I'm going to say, looks good. And I'm going to add this document. Oh, and I forgot my posting date. We're just going to post it as of today. It informs me, of course, this is an invoice. Invoices are permanent documents. Am I sure I want to add? Say yes. Go back to my most recent invoice, and I want to look at the journal entry this created. How did it allocate everything? I can see my vendor was credited for $3,276. I had a tax expense broken into the 2 portions of state level, city level, or county level taxes that affect this particular tax code. And then inventory was actually credited for $3,000 and freight for $45. Now this freight expense account, this is the name of the GL account, this is the insurance. And the $3,000 is the extra $200 allocated to freight based upon the amounts indicated above. So you see here we have 50, 25, and then $125, all allocated to freight. Now this 50 was allocated to only these items, and this 25 allocated again only to these. That concludes how to allocate freight directly to an inventory item on an AP document. I hope you found this helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Give us a ring, 559-477-4256. Thank you.